warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has announced the killing of a senior Islamic State leader, Abu Bilal al-Maliki, also known as Abu Mainok, during a joint operation carried out by Nigerian and United States force in the Lake Chad Basin in a statement personally signed on Saturday. Tinubu said the operation marked a significant example of effective collaboration in the fight against terrorism between both countries. The president said Nigerian troops working with the U.S. Armed Forces carried out a daring joint operation that dealt a heavy blow to the ranks of the Islamic State. Tinubu described the operation as a major step in advancing the security objectives of both countries and commended the force involved for their conduct. As the world marks International Boys' Day, some Nigerians have called for greater attention to the challenges facing boys, particularly in the areas of mental health, education, and moral development. Many are of the opinion that boys also need guidance, support, and opportunities to become responsible members of the society. Kabir Hassan tells us more.
Across different communities, opinions continue to grow on the need to pay closer attention to the development and well-being of boys in the society. Some Nigerians say while much attention is often placed on the girl child, the boys also face emotional, social, and economic pressure that requires proper guidance and mentorship, while others believe there is a need for stronger awareness on mental health of boys, noting that societal expectations often prevent them from expressing emotions or seeking help.
The greatest challenge is how to survive. What to do to succeed.
Male youth is that they should not dip their hand into what is bigger than them, and they should not look at another person's time to judge themselves.
As part of activities to mark the day, a group of non-governmental organizations organized a sensitization work in Abuja with a call for greater investment in the development, education, and mental well-being of boys in the society. The work held under the theme Flourish and Thrive, investing in boys for stronger families and communities, brought together youth, volunteers, advocates, and members of the public to raise awareness on the challenges facing the boys' child and the need for inclusive support system. The convener of the group, Anna Hussaini Pai, says the initiative is aimed at drawing attention to issues affecting boys, stressing that many young males are often neglected in the conversation around child development and emotional support.
It is significant because we need to raise awareness about the fact that the day even exists in the first place to celebrate the boy or the boys, and to raise awareness about the plight and challenges that they face, because these challenges turn around to affect each and every one of us and even the country at large. For every boy child around in Nigeria, I want them to, first of all, learn to be self-aware, because I feel it's the bedrock for most of the other activities around life and living.
Some officials at the work also emphasizes the importance of mentorship, education, and community involvement in shaping the future of young boys.
This is why we're here today, to celebrate the boy child. This same way we're giving attention to the girl child, we have to focus on the boy child to make sure we get them right, and it will trickle up to the people in the government. That's why we're here.
So the message is, just as we put more emphasis on the girl child in terms of the violences that they are facing, we should know that the boy child is also facing some of the most critical challenges in life. And when we speak and we comfort them, we put them on the front line, we show them that we care, they also give back to the society as we give them.
As International Boys' Day is observed, stakeholders continue to emphasize the importance of building confident, responsible, and emotionally healthy boys for a better society. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Members of the Nigerian Democratic Congress have raised 60 million naira for the purchase of presidential nomination form for Peter Obi as aspirants gathered for a seminar ahead of the 2027 general elections. Tagged Aspirant Seminar, it was held in Abuja to strategize on how to win the 2027 general elections. Political correspondent Ubong Usoro tells us more.
At an aspirant seminar in Abuja, members of the Nigeria Democratic Congress, supporters of Obedient Movement, and the Kwankwasiya movement gathered to discuss possible strategies for the 2027 elections. At the event, stakeholders reaffirmed their commitment to building a stronger opposition coalition capable of challenging the ruling party in the 2027 general elections. Speaking at the gathering, a chieftain of the NDC, Buba Galadima, urged members to unite and make sacrifices if they hope to defeat the ruling party in 2027. He stressed that the opposition must focus on building a common front rather than pursuing individual ambitions.
It is better that all the 17 federal aspirants in Ahmad Buhari, among themselves, they produce one person. And all of us work for the victory of this party. And we have Peter Obi and Kwankwaso as president and vice president. All 16 will be taken care of by the federal government of Nigeria.
Also speaking, human rights activist Aisha Yusufu called on political parties to field credible and competent candidates, warning against allowing money bags to hijack the process.
I want to say to every one of us here as we march on to 2027 that we all are citizens. We are not slaves, and the office of the citizen is the highest office in the land.
In his remarks, guest lecturer Sam Amadi emphasized the need for issue-based politics, coalition building, and active citizen participation ahead of the 2027 polls.
A member of a movement has to be strategic. And what that means is that your first commitment is to achieve the cardinal mission of the movement. In this case, to get this team elected.
The seminar ended with a renewed call for unity among opposition groups as stakeholders emphasized that only a coordinated front built on competence, credibility, and shared political strategy can effectively challenge the ruling party in the 2027 elections. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
A transnational human trafficking network and a domestic staff-led robbery gang have been uncovered by the Nigerian police force in a major operation targeting organized crime within the Federal Capital Territory and neighboring states. The police say the arrests have exposed the growing sophistication of criminal networks operating across the country. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
Governor Hope Uzodinma says the success of the party ahead of the elections depends largely on its ability to conduct peaceful, transparent, and credible primaries, addressing aspirants and...
We apologize that reports will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. As political activities gather momentum ahead of the party primaries, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has called on aspirants and party stakeholders to uphold peace, unity, and discipline throughout the exercise. But the governor warned against adopting a do-or-die approach, insisting that the party's collective interests must override personal ambition. He gave the charge during the stakeholders' meeting with aspirants and party leaders in the state. Amarachi Ibe tells us more.
Holders, the governor stressed the need for members to place party unity above individual interests. He reminded aspirants that only one candidate will eventually emerge for each elective position and urged all contestants to support whoever emerged victorious after the primaries. According to him, internal harmony remains critical to strengthen the party's chances in the general elections.
So there is need for loyalty to the party pre-primaries, during primaries, post-primaries. That is consistency, and that is what our partisan democracy requires.
Governor Hope Uzodinma also reaffirms the party's commitment to zoning, describing it as an important democratic principle designed to promote fairness, equity, and inclusive representation across constituencies. He advised aspirants whose ambition may not align with the existing zoning arrangement to respect the decision in overall interest of peace and party cohesion.
If you're a member of the House of Representatives and you know that the zoning is very strong in your constituency, respect yourself. Thank you, people. Help me. I have no personal agenda. My agenda is for Imo State. We don't want this state, after we have done all this fasting and prayers, and God answered and we are getting to this next stage. We don't want this state to go back to it.
Some aspirants for the State House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and the Senate who attended the meeting pledged loyalty to the party and expressed readiness to support whoever emerged as candidate after the primaries.
On behalf of myself and the teaming APC House of Reps aspirants, we say we pass our implicit vote of confidence on your leadership as the leader of the
and we are here to say that we are committed to our party. On your mandate, we stand.
The stakeholders meeting is part of effort by the leadership of the party to ensure rancor-free primaries and sustain unity ahead of the general elections. From Government House Owerri, I'm Marachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Overnight to a transnational human trafficking network and a domestic staff-led robbery gang have been uncovered by the Nigerian police force in major operations targeting organized crime within the Federal Capital Territory and neighboring states. The police say the arrests have exposed the growing sophistication of criminal networks operating across the country. Kikilomo Okeri has the details.
Parading the suspects at the Force Intelligence Department, Intelligence Response Team's headquarters in Guzape, Abuja, Force Public Relations Officer DCP Anthony Placid says operative recorded major breakthrough after weeks of coordinated intelligence-driven operations. In one of the cases, police uncovered a cross-border human trafficking syndicate allegedly luring vulnerable youths from Mali and other West African countries with fake promises of jobs and relocation opportunities abroad. Investigation reveals that the victims were made to pay huge sum of transportation and processing before they were moved into apartments in Maraba and Karu area of Nasarawa State, where they were allegedly held under exploitative conditions. Police says the victims were further extorted through fake investment scheme, while some were allegedly forced to stage kidnapping calls to relatives abroad in order to obtain ransom payments.
The operation, which lasted 17 days, uncovered a sophisticated transnational trafficking and fraudulent exploitation network operating within the Federal Capital Territory and the neighboring communities.
In another disturbing development, police uncovered what they described as a family-backed kidnapping conspiracy involving a son and a grandson accused of masterminding the abduction of their own father and grandfather for ransom. The suspects, Musa Adamu and Yusuf Rabo, were arrested while other accomplices identified as Ali Aruna remain on the run. According to the investigators, the suspect targeted the elderly victim after allegedly concluding that he possessed substantial wealth and livestock. Police says the victim was kidnapped twice, with family reportedly paying millions of naira in ransom before release.
Reveal that Musa Adamu connived with Yusuf Rabo and Ali Haruna, resolved to abduct their own father/grandfather, Alhaji Rabo Jelani, on the premise that he was wealthy and possessed a large head of livestock.
In a separate operation, police arrested a 41-year-old chef, John Cosmos Govey, over an alleged conspiracy to drug members of his employer's household before facilitating a robbery operations. Investigators says the suspects allegedly studied the family's routine after securing employment as a domestic chef before collaborating with accomplices to lace food prepared for household with a sedative substance. The Nigerian Police Force says investigation into all cases are ongoing, with efforts intensified to arrest fleeing suspects and dismantled connected criminal networks across the country. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global TV News.
The ruling All Progressive Congress has fixed Monday, May 18, 2026 for the commencement of its National Assembly primary elections in Zamfara State. The party said the primaries will be conducted across designated ward centers in the state. In a statement issued to journalists by the chairman of the APC National Assembly Primary Election Committee for Zamfara State, Awal Aliyu, saying he urged aspirants, party supporters to rely strictly on official communications from the committee saddled with conduct of the congresses for clear information and guidance. The committee chairman assured stakeholders of the party's commitment to ensuring a transparent, free, fair, and credible primary election process across the state. Governor Lawal has made a mark in the history of Zamfara State with the inaugural Hajj flight departing from Gusau International Airport. The inaugural flight departed Gusau International Airport on Friday, carrying 415 Zamfara intending pilgrims. During the inaugural flight, Governor Lawal expressed his excitement and gratitude for witnessing this milestone in the history of Zamfara State. The governor described the construction of Gusau International Airport as a legacy project of great importance to his administration. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign, and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. After the recent rainfall recorded over the northwestern region, temperatures have slightly dropped, bringing some relief from earlier heat and thermal discomfort. Looking ahead to Sunday, we expect increased weather activity across the northern region. Thunderstorms are likely over parts of the northeast and most parts of the northwest. Some of these storms may be accompanied by strong winds, so residents are advised to take necessary precautions. Across the north-central cities and the southern parts of the country, cloudy skies and thunderstorms are also expected. And that's the weather outlook for Sunday. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a lovely day. I'm Safia Yunusa.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the Central Bank of Nigeria launched the 4th edition of its foreign exchange manual with the reverse framework scheduled to take effect from June 1st, 2026. As part of ongoing reforms aimed at improving transparency, liquidity, and confidence in Nigeria's foreign exchange market. Speaking at the launch of the reverse manual in Abuja, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, said the initiative reflected the Apex Bank's commitment to strengthening microeconomic stability and modernizing Nigeria's foreign exchange ambition. He says the reverse manual became necessary following involved global economic conditions, domestic structural adjustment, and ongoing reforms in Nigeria's foreign exchange market. S&P Global Rating has upgraded Nigeria's long-term foreign and local currency sovereign credit rating to B from B, citing improvement in the country's microeconomic profile, external position, and ongoing economic reforms. The US-based global rating agency announced the upgrade on Friday while affirming Nigeria's short-term rating as B with a stable outlook. According to S&P, high oil production prices, increased domestic refining capacity, and the liberalization of the foreign exchange market in 2023 has strengthened Nigeria's economic growth and balance of payments position. Moving on now to the National Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Ukadike, has tackled the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited over its attempt to increase its stake in the Dangote Petroleum Refinery despite the poor state of government-owned refineries. Ukadike stated this while reacting to comments by the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, that the refinery rejected request by the NNPC to increase its 7.25% stake in the $20 billion facility. Dangote had disclosed this during an interview with the chief executive officer of the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund. On foreign scene now, Lebanon has welcomed an agreement with Israel to extend the fragile ceasefire by 45 days beyond Sunday's deadline, following talks in the United States, even as Israeli forces continue to attack on towns and villages in southern Lebanon. At least 12 people were killed on Friday, including 3 paramedics, according to Lebanese authorities. The Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, said it had completed all necessary arrangements for the implementation of 30 days visa exemption for Rwandan nationals in response to the same gesture granted to Nigerians by the Rwandan government. The Public Relations Officer of the NIS, Akinsola Akinlabi, made this known in a statement issued in Abuja on Friday, following the announcement by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the African CEO Forum in Kigali, Rwanda, granting Rwandan nationals a 30-day visa exemption, reciprocating similar gesture from Rwandan government to Nigerian citizens. The Nigerian Immigration Service has completed all arrangements for the directive's implementation. A joint operation by the Nigerian military and the United States Africa Command has killed Abibullah al-Maliki, the second-in-command of ISIS in the Lake Chad area. Over now to the operation was carried out a few hours ago after meticulous planning and successful execution by the armed forces of the two countries. On to some exciting news in sports. The Basketball African League has announced that its 2026 playoff stage will tip off on May 22nd at BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda, with 8 teams competing for the Continental Crown from May 22nd to 31st. The BAL also announced a material collaboration with Qatar Foundation, making the Doha-based non-profit organization the league's first official community partner in a deal facilitated by Qatar Sports Investment. Al Hilal will open proceedings against ASIC Ville de Dakar at 4 p.m. Central African Time on May 22nd, followed by the RSSB Tigers taking on FUS Rabat. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using at Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.